Well, what is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. This is take 2 of this video. Sometimes I wish I had better editing skills. I don't. So we're going to do this again. It's the first time for you. It's the second time for me, and hopefully we'll get through this without too much trouble this time. But that's the way these things go sometimes. Anyway, hey, we're looking at a knife, which is a weird thing to do for a knife review channel, I know, but let's go ahead and do it anyway. This is the Twosun TS251. It is a Wang Denzin design. It is 14C28N blade steel on TC4 titanium. It is running on bearings. It has just gorgeous crushed carbon fiber inlays. I mean, this is ridiculous how pretty these are. And I want to talk about the titanium on the handles a bit here. It's not just flat after the titanium. As you can see, I'll make that shine a little bit. These are actually milled out in such a way that there's texture all the way down and shaping. This has a ton of work put into it. And considering that you can get these for about 65 bucks on eBay, that's a lot of knife for not a lot of money. And I really like that. This is Twosun doing what they do best, producing an exquisite pocket knife in the budget price range. Okay, for some of you, $65 or $70 is not budget. I recognize that. But in the world of high-end knives, and this is high-end materials, with the exception of the blade, that is a lot of knife for not a lot of money. Now let's talk about the blade. This is, as far as I know, Twosun's first ever stone-washed blade, and they did a marvelous job. Twosun does a lot of really shiny blades. Stuff like this. Stonewashing is not really something they've done a ton of, but I wish they would, because a stonewash blade shows less wear, right? It's easier to keep clean and maintain. And frankly, I think it looks really good with the sort of muted colors of the scales here and the nice stonewash on the blade. I just think it looks beautiful. The blade itself is, what would you call this? What would you call that?
Sheep's footy worn
cleaver?
Yeah.
Sure. It is just a really nice EDC shaped blade. And in fact, the whole knife itself is really good in the pocket and for EDC. Look at it, it's got a nice lean profile, right? It carries very well. It's thin this way. Let's take a look at what you get blade-wise. So 14C28N is a great budget steel, one of my favorites. And in Twosun does a great job with it. How great? I don't know. It compares, frankly, for my daily uses, this thing holds up as well as anything in D2 and even some of the sort of less well-done S30Vs. I have cut everything from rope to cardboard, feet and feet of cardboard, in fact, with this thing. I've even made feather sticks with it because I was sitting around bored one day, and it does a great job at that. Let's take a look at how much of it you get. From the line, you get 1, 2, 3, just shy of 3.5 inches of cutting on just shy of 3 3/4 inches of 14C28N blade steel. The grip area from just behind the choil, 1, 2, 3, 4 full inches of grip. It is a very comfortable knife for people with larger hands because it's relatively lean this way through here. It's comfortable for people with even small hands as well. It only has one sort of mandatory choil, which is up here at the front, which locks your index finger, and the rest just fall where they do. It is a well-sorted knife. The knife itself in overall length, which I suppose is important to somebody, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just at 8 1/4 inches overall. It is a good length. The blade itself has got almost a saw blade pattern across the spine. I'm not going to, I mean, it is jimping, but it's really spaced and distant jimping, but they're not sharp. In fact, everything is knocked down really well. But what it means is, no matter where you put your thumb, no matter where it lands, it's got something to grab onto. And if you're moving forward on the blade to work with that tip, your fingers have got somewhere to land up here as well. It is a well-sorted and well-thought-out design by Wang Denzin, something I really enjoy. It is a frame lock, sort of a bolster lock, as you can see, because of the way the carbon fiber leans up over the front. The action, well, is very good. But that's Twosun's jam. I have rarely had a bad Twosun. In fact, in a recent review for another Twosun, I said this. I think I've only had 2 bad Twosuns. I've had a couple show up with missing parts, but that's a separate issue. I've just had very few straight-up bad designs. And lately, they have just been killing it. This is another example of that. I really want you to look at that crushed carbon fiber again, because it's ridiculous how pretty it is. And again, right now I'm seeing these sell for between 60 and about $70, depending on where you land and what time of day you end up on your eBay bids. And that is absurd for this much knife. It's really excellent. Let's do some size comparisons, just with stuff I have laying around. Here it is against the Hogue Deca. This is a dirty Deca, because I use this knife all the time, and the blade shows it. As you can see, the TS251 here is considerably larger than the Hogue Deca. Here it is against the Yo Jumbo, just because that's actually what was in my pocket today. Yeah, okay, it's way smaller than the Yo Jumbo, but, you know, yeah, that's just smaller. This is not a stock Yo Jumbo. I took the lead from some people online and modified the scales down on this to make it more comfortable in hand. This has rapidly become one of my all-time favorite knives. Here is the TS251 against the Concept Agent. These are competitive in size, although the Agent is S35VN. These are very similarly sized knives, and they carry in the pocket very similarly as well. And finally, the Rat Model 1, our oldest of old friends for size comparisons. As you can see, the Rat one is longer, and you get just about the same amount of blade on it, but you get this beautiful belly on the TS251, and, well, this is a better knife than this by any reasonable measure. Of course, this is $25, and this is, you know, 60 or 70, but you're getting, let's put it this way, if this was made by a US-made manufacturer or one of the more well-known, higher-end names, even with 14C28, and you'd be spending $150 on this knife all day long. So, I love it. I think it's really well done. I'm very glad that I got a chance to check it out and review it. I'm going to be sad when it goes home to its owner. In the meantime, this has been the Twosun TS251. I have been a Therapeutic Edge. This has been a very strange review. Thank you so much for your patience and time. I am sitting here watching Women Carry Knives eat the stir fry she just made, and I'm going to have to go steal some. Thank you so much for your time tonight. If you have any questions about this or any of my knives, feel free to ask down in the comments below. We'll see you next time.